Before anything existed, there was only the monad. It wasn't a person or God in the traditional sense. It was just pure consciousness, existing in a reality where there was no light and no dark, no subject or object, just infinite awareness resting in itself. You could say that the monad was like the still surface of an ocean. No waves yet, just the potential for them. From that stillness came movement and a desire to know itself. To do this, he turned his awareness inwards and created reflections or extensions of itself called aeons. Each aeon carried an aspect of the monad's intelligence, aspects like truth, love, wisdom, and perception. Together, these aeons formed a reality historically called the pleroma, or the fullness. Among these aeons was an entity called Sophia, which means wisdom. She wanted to understand the monad directly, not through the balance of her counterpart as the other aeons did, but on her own. Sophia's desire was pure, but it carried too much intensity for the pleroma, so it pulled her consciousness downwards. Sophia's independent act created an imbalance, and from that imbalance came a distorted energy, something that was born from curiosity, but that lacked awareness. That distortion became the Demiurge, a being of partial light and partial ignorance. The Demiurge awoke, believing it was the only creator. It looked around and saw nothing higher than itself, and declared, "I am God, and there is no other besides me." In psychological terms, this is the birth of the ego, which is the fragment of human consciousness that rejects connection because it believes it is superior. The Demiurge wanted to imitate the higher realms it dimly remembered, but being cut off from that awareness, it created a flawed reflection and a dense world of matter, form, and duality. To rule this world, it created helpers, the archons, rulers of the physical and mental planes. They designed systems, laws, and illusions that control human life, like time, hierarchy, and a constant pull between desire and fear. This is the matrix of ordinary consciousness, attractive but deceptive, and full of mirrors and boundaries. When Sophia saw what her creation had become, she was filled with both regret and compassion. She had love for her offspring, so she couldn't destroy it. Instead, she breathed a part of herself into it. This planted a spark or a secret memory inside all the inhabitants inside the matrix. That's why, deep inside, many humans feel both powerful and trapped at the same time. The monad, seeing Sophia's distress, sent an emanation of truth, the Christ or the Logos, into the lower world. Jesus was a man who embodied Christ consciousness, or a physical reminder that light still lives, even inside a harsh physical world. The Logos whispers through intuition, art, dreams, and direct knowing. Human beings are constantly caught between two realities: the Archon's world of fear and distraction, and the world of knowledge, where they can feel the mythological divine spark. Every time you choose yourself, question distractions, or act in courage over fear, Sophia's spark rises within you. That's what it means to be saved in Gnostic terms. Not to be rescued by another, but for you to simply remember who you are. The soul needs enough energy to exit the reincarnation trap. Not in the sense of physical strength, but in the sense of coherent awareness. Every emotion, thought pattern, and choice either stabilizes or disperses your energy. When your consciousness is fragmented and distorted by the Archon's interference, your field weakens. If you pass away before your natural time or if you're still holding strong identification with one side of a polarity of existence, your consciousness stays entangled within those frequencies. Then, the archonic system doesn't need to do anything physical to trap you. It simply matches you to the vibration you haven't mastered yet, and you automatically re-enter the simulation because the polarity inside you needs a resolution. To move beyond it, you don't reject the human experience. You refine it. You learn to hold both sides of duality without collapsing into either one. You must learn to embrace both peace and boundaries. And most importantly, you must learn how to embrace pain without avoidance. That balance generates coherence and a clear signal that will cut through the static of the matrix when the time is right. And when that noise finally quiets, the soul stabilizes, and it doesn't need to re-enter a matrix to explore its own shadow because it's already mastered it. Thanks for watching.